super excited to bring you along for another canning session. I absolutely love doing this, and it makes me feel so accomplished to have stuff that I know what went into it in my pantry, and it saves me a lot of money. Today's canning session is going to be a bargain. So I'm going to use my new All-American canner because I'm going to stack pint jars. And we're canning turkey because I looked through the pantry. I don't have any more canned turkey except for ground turkey. So I wanted to go ahead and do that. And I had some turkeys that I bought over the holidays that need to be used up that were in the freezer. Thawed one out. Started out to be about a 14-pound bird. I deboned it, and I've got the bones all back, simmering on the back of the stove to make bone broth. A lot of you asked for that video, and so I'll post a link in the description box for that video on how to do it. It's super easy. But right now we're gonna, I've got turkey cubed up. We're gonna do the pre-cook, par-cooked method. So you don't have to cook it all the way through, but it keeps the meat separated. I feel like it holds together better, and the flavor, for whatever reason, so I'm gonna put down some olive oil in my pan, and I discarded all the fat and skin from this bird. We're just gonna go ahead, get a sear on it. My jars are waiting in the dishwasher, they're nice and hot. So while this is browning up, getting a little bit of a sear on it, we'll get our stock over here. It's nice and hot. Heat up some water and put them over our lids to soften the gaskets. I've got a combination of Tadler lids as well as traditional. I have a metal bubbler. I'm going to actually show you how to use this little gadget. I use it to undo my lids, but I don't generally use it to put my lids on, or my rings. Got my jar lifter, magnet, a little bowl of vinegar water, or actually it's just straight vinegar. And you pour the excess in your canner to keep the jars from getting cloudy. And if you ever realize that you forgot that, when you open your canner, you can actually add that vinegar in, bring it to a boil, and your jars will be clear again. So, or just wash them off. And I cubed this turkey, most of it's in bite-sized pieces. I don't think that this is going to fill 16 jars because I didn't have 16 pounds of meat to begin with. So I've got some cubed chicken meat that I'll keep separate, and that will go in the rest of the jars. And so that's what I'm doing, and the chicken meat is thigh meat. So I'll be back when there's something else to show. I've got my hot jars out, my meat is ready. It's not cooked all the way through, but it's par-cooked. So it just, I don't know, I really like the end result of this. It's one extra step. That is not that big a deal, if you think about it. So, and it created some broth in here on its own, so you can use that as well. And you're just gonna load your jars. Get your little wand here to go ahead and put that meat down in there. You wanna pack them pretty good. A pint jar should hold a pound of meat for those of you that are new to canning. And you know, it's just nice to have a jar of turkey or chicken or beef or whatever you choose to have on your shelf that you can, really, it's fast food. So once we've got our meat in here, oh, this jar is hot. We're gonna go ahead and ladle our chicken stock, and this was made from a base. And you're just gonna fill it to 1 inch of headspace. You don't want to overfill your jars. Look how pretty that is. Now I did put parsley, dried parsley, and some garlic, home ground garlic powder in this base because I really want to flavor this. So that being said, then you're going to make sure that you debubble. And that the meat is submerged properly. And this is a wide mouth jar, so I'm going to grab me a napkin and dip it in my vinegar. You're going to make sure there's no residue on your rim at all, and it's your last chance to give a once over. Make sure there's no nicks that would cause your jar not to seal. And now we're going to get a wide mouth lid working with the metal ones first and your rims. And I typically, we were gonna finger tight this, or we were gonna use this little tool, and there's 2 arrows here, and so you put it down over that, and you tighten until the arrows match, and that's finger tight for these bands. My canner is got warm water, nothing above 180 degrees, because these are gonna sit in here and wait for the rest. So I'm gonna get to canning up the rest of this, get them all jarred up, and I'll bring you back when the canner's full. All right, so I wanted to let you know that I ended up with about 9.5 pounds of meat, and how I know that, I didn't weigh it, but I got 9.5 jars. So I'm gonna mark, well, this one will be obvious because it's only about 3/4 of the way to half the way full with the turkey. And what we've started now is browning off our chicken thigh meat that I've cut into cubes. And I got that for a really good price. I couldn't turn it down. It was organic, range-free chicken. And so I thought, I need to put some back. And I love having dark meat on the shelf as well as chicken breast. So I have all of my jars in here, and I did get 6 full pints of chicken thighs. And I bought just under 6 pounds. So with the broth and everything, it brings it right up. So that was perfect. Had I not had enough, I don't like to run a canner that's not full. It's totally safe to do that, but had I not had enough, I would have canned up a jar of dry beans. So that was my game plan. So you're gonna put your lid on, and there's a notch over here and an arrow that you need to line up. And this clearance for my stove is really, really, really tight. So get that lined up, there we go. And it locks into place at that point. Then you're gonna take your little flywheels here, and I did oil the seal. You wanna keep that, have a nice oil on it. 3 inches of water inside the canner, and we're good to go. I'm gonna turn my burner up because we're gonna get rocking and rolling and canning some turkey and chicken. And how fun is that? How nice it's gonna be to have that on my shelf. And that turkey cost me 59 cents a pound. And the chicken thighs were $1.99, and for boneless, skinless, that's a very good buy. And they were organic, range-free. So, take your, have your weight handy, the pressure gauge. What you're gonna do is where the weight goes over here, the vent hole, you make sure that's all cleared off. And it's gonna vent for 10 full minutes. Those of you that are new to canning, I wanna make sure that you know that you have to vent that for 10 minutes. And then you put your weight on it. And the weight is determined by your altitude. I'm at 4,500 feet above sea level here in Nevada. I'm in high desert. And so in the Reno Sparks area, you definitely need to have 15 pounds of pressure. That brings that canner up to 250 degrees. So that is hot enough to kill botulism. You can never kill it by a water bath. So my canner has come down off of pressure, and this was in here a total time when it got up to pressure, 75 minutes. And so you have to wait until you vented for 10 minutes, you put your weight on. When your weight starts rocking and your dial gauge gets up to the appropriate pounds of pressure, and for my altitude again is 15 pounds, then you can start your timing. And so it might take a minute or two. It seems like that last pound takes a little bit of time on here, but you want to go ahead and grab your weight. It's still going to be hot, and there's a little bit of steam coming out, but this gauge says 0 pounds of pressure, so I'm good to go. And everything is still extremely hot, so be very, very careful. Let's go ahead and get a couple of bar towel rags. I love these. These are great. They bleach out great. They're just fantastic. And then we're gonna, across from each other, just like we tighten them, loosen. And this could be one of my new favorite sounds in the whole world. And I know that those of you that have this canner are gonna understand. love it more anyway. So then you're going to twist this a little bit, and we're going to try to get this stem away from us. There we go. And we're going to let this just sit here for a few minutes, and then we'll start bringing jars out. We don't want to shock the jars, and I've got 2 towels down. I've got a double layer here of towels down on the counter, and it's really important that you don't shock your jars, but when you're using Tadler lids, you definitely have to tighten them as soon as you bring them out of the canner. So I'm going to give this 5 minutes, let this just kind of settle, let this kind of figure it out. We're going to go ahead and take these jars out, and these are Tadler lids. So on a Tadler lid, you're going to want to tighten that down the rest of the way when you bring it out of the canner. On a regular pop up and down kind of lid, you don't want to do that. I can hear lids already pinging in here, and this is boiling in the jars. I know you can see that. That's pretty crazy. So we're going to go ahead and tighten our Tadler. You would never want to tighten a pop-up lid because you would end up with a big spewed mess. It wouldn't be good. And we'll set these over here. Now, I see where my rings are starting to decay from washing, and I don't put them in the dishwasher, but from washing and canning, they start getting decayed and blackened, and I replace them as soon as I see that. So all good. This is not a Tadler. I'm not going to tighten that. And this is a Tadler. I only have one more Tadler to go, and then we're good to go. Fantastic. 16 pints of canned turkey and chicken. And so we have so we have 10 pints of turkey, and one of them is just a half pint right here. It's a half pint with some broth, and then 6 pints of chicken thighs, and I put a T on the lid of that so I would know after they're cooled what is turkey and what's not. And I hear jars pinging away. I'm going to get the rest of these out, and I'll bring you right back. So our end result is 16 pints of turkey and canned chicken, and I'm very excited. And we have some bone broth that we're going to be canning up as well. So I hope you stay along for that video, and on how to do a easy bone broth that's very good for you, and how to can that up. And look at this. My pantry's restocked in one canning session. Alright guys, I can't wait to see you next time. If you like this video, I hope you give me a thumbs up. And if you really like it, share it on your Facebook page, because I know there's a lot of people out there that think this is so hard and they can't do it. And it's so easy and it's so rewarding. So, as always, look for my next video. Go down the About